and I know how to record, so that's good. Awesome. Okay, so first things first, guys, you've probably seen Symmetry now coming from conference. Hold on, I gotta figure out who's not muted. Here's my problem child here. Hey guys, out of respect, please, for what I'm trying to do in y'all's time, if you could mute out, please pay attention to what you have here and mute your line. I appreciate you all so much. So first things first, you've probably seen Symmetry. You've seen the success people have had. You're hearing these authentic, deep down, triumphant stories of people who are now making 50, 60, 70,000 passive income monthly into their business. And they started where we were. And you could be thinking to yourself, why doesn't everyone do this? Why doesn't everyone do what Symmetry has here? And the reason why is because this is hard. So I want to address that. You are doing something hard, difficult, not easy, but against the grain. That's what you're doing. And I want to be the first one who spends your morning with you, congratulating you for doing something difficult. You have chosen to start your own business. You have chosen to take ownership of what you do. You have chosen to get your time back and being out of balance just for the sake of getting into balance in the next 90 days, 6 months, a year, 5 years, however long it takes. You have chosen to take that path, and I want to congratulate you for that, because it's going to get hard. It is not easy. And so I wanted to address that. Now let's talk about, when you're in your first 90 days, what is the first hard thing that somebody would encounter that could knock them out of the business in the first 90 days if they're not prepared for it and they don't have their expectations set? And it's going to be the phones. Getting the license, everyone's like, whew, got my license. That was difficult. I'm glad that's out of the way. Congratulations, you did do something hard. You didn't quit, but it only gets harder from here. So the first things first is you're going to have the phones. The phones is where it kind of makes or breaks you. You know what I mean? You get to decide, am I going to quit just because I suck at something? And I don't know if you guys remember the last time you did something new. Take a quick second and try to think about, when was the last time you did something difficult with yourself? Something that you didn't do before, right? It could be, maybe you tried a new instrument. Maybe you started running. Oh gosh, and you did a couch to 5K, meaning you were sitting on the couch and now you're running a 5K. In your first couple of days, first couple of weeks, you sucked, you were in pain, you hated every second of it, and you definitely contemplated quitting. And if you haven't done something difficult in a long time, that adversity that you're gonna feel is gonna be very tempting to not feel anymore, because you have gone so long without feeling adversity that you're like, how do I get back to that place when I didn't feel this uncomfortable? And so the good news is that you don't quit. If you don't quit, the uncomfortableness will get comfortable. That's the good news. So let's talk about the two biggest things that we see happen in the first 90 days, which could knock someone out of the business. Those two things is someone who doesn't make enough dials, they don't put in enough work, or they try to reinvent the wheel because they won't accept the fact that they suck at something. So, and I know that sounds rough, but I mean, do you guys want me to tell you the truth, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? The truth is a lot of people won't do enough work, or they'll try to figure out why it's not working for them, which really in reality means that their ego's in the way and they won't accept the fact that they suck at something. So that's two things I want you guys to be aware of as you come into your first 90 days, or if you're in your first 90 days and you're not seeing success and you're starting to think of what's wrong with the system, start pointing fingers at you and say, what more could I be doing? And how can I get back to doing those basics? How do I get better at doing what Symmetry has in store with the script? So I'm going to give you guys some key tips for the phones. The first key tip that I want to give you all is actually not on here. The first key tip I want to give you is plug in. I'm obviously preaching to the choir here, y'all. Hold on just a second. Gonna mute out something. Perfect. Love it. Awesome. First key tip is plug in. When I say plug in to people who are dialing. That is the best thing you could do for yourself with the phones, is listen to somebody actually book an appointment before you book your first appointment. Just listen, see what they're doing, because they're going to do the 4 things that you see right here, right? The first one is low and slow. When you're talking low and slow, it's going to be literally against the grain. It's going to feel so bad. It's good because you're going to be thinking to yourself, like, there's no way somebody enjoys hearing me talk like this. But in reality, people love it. It separates you from a telemarketer when you talk low and slow. What low and slow sounds like is you start saying your words very slowly, not condescendingly, and there's not a ton of space between each word. Just articulating slower and at a lower tone than you normally speak in. That's low and slow. Second tip is going to be triple dial. If you guys watched me dial yesterday, I triple dialed and everyone picked up the phone. Everyone. I had gone through 9 leads because I was only dialing in a very short period of time late at night. And 9 people picked up the phone and I was able to resolve all 9 leads. Now, how was I able to get 9 people to pick up a phone call from a phone number that they don't know? Is I called the number. If they don't answer, I call them right back. If they don't answer again, I call them right back. It creates a sense of urgency. It separates you. And if you all were on my dial session last night, you might be thinking, okay, if I'm triple dialing, these people are going to be so mad at me for that. No one got mad at me yesterday because I was reaching out to them about something they had requested information on. So once again, you're low and slow, you triple dial, you're going to have a greater sense of urgency, and you're also going to be able to resolve these leads. The third thing is book your appointments within 24 to 48 hours. So if you're dialing in the morning, you can book evening appointments. You dial in the evening, you can book next day, next morning appointments, or next day, next afternoon appointments. Just keep them within a 24 to 48 hour window when you're booking your appointments, so you have a greater opportunity for the people to actually show up for the appointment. And then the fourth one I have for you here is set goals and don't stop until you hit them. When you arrive to your workspace right here, which I hate the fact that we're in the square again, but I'm grateful to be able to see you guys. When you arrive to your workplace, you're there to do what? You're there to work. That's what we're there to do. So you might as well set a goal for yourself, since nobody else is going to. Set a goal for yourself and sit there and work until you get it done. That goal could be, I'm going to call through all my leads. That goal could be, I'm going to set 5 appointments. I'm going to set 15 appointments while I'm sitting here. I'm going to dial straight and not be distracted for 3 hours. Whatever goal it is, set it and don't stop until you hit that goal. So there's my actually five, I put another finger up, 5 steps for you, 5 key tips for your phone. Also, something that's extremely important is having the right expectations going into dialing and starting your business. Because once you can fool yourself very easily that there's a problem with the system and not with you if you don't understand what the system actually is. So you have to have those right expectations set so that you can arrive. You arrive to the system, not the system just works for you. The system is just what it is. It's black and white. You show up, you work, and you get whatever the system is going to have for you. I mean, Symmetry has perfected this over the last 11 years. So it's massive action, constant correction. Make a mess, we'll clean it up. No big deal. You know, you go out there, you dial on 100 people, you book 10 appointments, and you have no idea what to do next. Congratulations, you made a mess. We're going to help you clean it up. We're going to get these families helped. So first thing for massive action, don't convince yourself that because you actually sat down for an hour straight that you did massive action. Massive action is doing 400 to 600 dials per week. DJ Robinson, a guy who writes at least $2 grand in production every single day, he did not start off that way without doing 1,100, 1,200, sometimes 1,500 dials in a week. He had to do that to get to where he is so he could be more efficient. And I promise you, he doesn't regret it, writing over 150,000 in production in his first 3 months, in the first quarter of the year. That's insane. But he had to put in massive action. And then he did the constant correction. He worked with Elijah. He worked with Chris Cook on the things that he needed to get better at. So counsel with your upline. That's kind of leading into the next one, is counsel with your upline. Every 5 people you talk to, Anjay and I have worked nonstop on this, but because of that, he is getting better at what he does. He'll go out, he'll call, he'll call, he'll call. He speaks with 5 people. It doesn't matter if the first 5 and the second 5 people told him the same thing. He's going to call me right in between this space right here and say, here's what I heard. Here's what I did. Could I do anything better? I might ask a couple questions. We assess, and then he goes on to his next 5. Do that. That is how you will actually improve. Because like they always say, it's better to do a biopsy than an autopsy. Get your counseling done during your production, and then keep implementing what you're learning. Also have sufficient resources. I talked about this at conference, y'all. When it comes to leads and having people to talk to, we all work the same system. There's nothing I'm going to tell someone that's going to get them better results than something I would tell somebody else. It's one system. We all work the same thing. I'm going to tell everyone the same thing. You need to know what you need to make so that you know how many appointments you need to sit with. You need to know how many leads you need to have the appointments that you sit with. For me in my home, I need to sit with at least 15 families every single week. Now, in order to do that, I need to have more than 15 leads in inventory that I invest in every single week. I need to have 30 leads that I invest in every single week in order to have the shot of sitting with 15 families every single week. That's what I need to have. So learn that about yourself. This is a great opportunity to develop a relationship with your upline. Speak with them and say, here's what I need to make. Here's what I need to bring home. How many leads do I need to have to get that done? And what you'll learn through is the system. You'll learn the system because you're not trusting them, you're trusting a system. And then you implement what the system says. Because all leaders are traffic cops. That's all we do. We just direct people to the system and say, this is what you need to do. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm not giving you something that personally works for me. I'm giving you something that works for 4,000 agents every single week. So a $2,500 a week investment into your business should net you $1,000 to $1,500 a week net income if consistently done over 6 weeks. So there you go. There's some numbers right there to take a look at. You're like, hey, I need to make this much money. This is what you need to be preparing yourself to invest, and then actually invest it. But that's marrying. You got to marry both of them. You can't just invest something, put money into something, and then not work. You got to work. And then you can't just invest money and just work and not counsel. You got to counsel. Marry that all together, have the right expectations. And then work SFG system. If you're part-time, sit with 8 to 10 families a week. If you're full-time, sit with 15 plus families a week. Last but not least, guys, of having the right expectations, we are in a world of virtual. We are working on the phones. We're working on Zoom. Plan to get no-showed. I'm going to be the first one if nobody's told you this yet. People will sometimes not show up to their appointments. Go ahead and have that expectation in your head. So what can you do? What can you do about that? If you plan to get no-showed, that means that you need to book more appointments than you actually need to sit with in preparation for people not showing up. Because the best case scenario, everyone shows up and you make more money than you were actually expecting to make. Worst case scenario, people no-show you and then you're ready because you planned for that. Just like Mark was saying, failing to plan to fail. Plan for the fact that there's sometimes people are just not going to show up. All right, guys, let's keep going. Let's ride this out. Key tips for the in-home. Got something for you here. What's this? What does Jordan have? Key tips for the in-home. I have some QR codes for you guys because I want you all to have access to documents that I can't just hand to you across the table. So how do you use a QR code? Gosh, if you've been to a restaurant, you should know it by now. You just take your phone, got your camera, scan it over the top of it. It'll take you to the websites that we have linked here. So your key tips for your in-home, follow the real system. Don't try to just figure it out. Follow the real system. Symmetry has it scripted out to a T, start to finish, how to do this. So the QR code on the right is a live appointment by Edward Pritchett implementing the real system. It's a video. How blessed are we that we get to watch the guy who makes 7 figures every single month passively run an appointment. We're very blessed to have that. Book your appointments no longer than 1 hour apart. What does that mean? You book an appointment for 3. When's your next appointment? When should your next appointment be booked for? 4 o'clock. So keep booking them on the hour, book them on the half hour, it doesn't matter, but just book them at least an hour apart so that you give yourself the grace necessary so that you may need to complete the application and still make your next appointment. So let's say you get no-showed by your appointment. Now you got an hour to book 2 more appointments to make up for the one that you just missed. So that's the beauty of booking things on the hour. It keeps you on your toes. Don't show numbers in the appointment until you understand that family situation. What does that mean, guys? That just means, like, if you're sitting with someone and you're running an appointment and they're asking you, hey, just how much is this? Don't tell them how much it is until you even know if they need it. Just facts, guys. We're not salespeople. We help people. We do more consultation work than anything. It's an assumptive sale. We need to figure out if they need this. Turns out they need this, and then we help them pick out their plan. Don't show numbers until you can accurately help someone pick out their plan. Master establishing your role and purpose, y'all. What a role and purpose is you telling the family what you're going to be doing for the length of time you've got them there for. And then you just do what you say you're going to do. Number 5, look professional. I'm not talking about right now because we're just hanging out here and we're learning together. But when you're in the appointment, wear a collared shirt, put some makeup on, brush your teeth, please, brush your hair, just look professional, y'all. Like, look like you actually came to work to help somebody. Don't be sitting there with your hair up in a ponytail, munching on something, or just distracted on your phone. You're there to help someone. Look professional. Do you have to wear pants? No, but it doesn't matter. At least the top half of you, Joe says yes, he's lying. He's not even wearing pants right now, just to be honest. But look professional, guys. Also, another key tip for the in-home, listen to understand, not just to respond. We're not there to sell something. We're there to help someone. And how in the world can you help someone when you don't even care enough to listen to them to understand their situation? If you're not making sales, it's probably because people don't like you. They don't understand what you're telling them. It's too expensive, or they don't like you. So if you're looking at someone and you're like, man, this could really help them. It's only $40 a month. Why didn't they take it? Good chance they don't like you. So how do people like other people? It's because of the genuine interest that someone expressed into them. There's a great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And all it's about is about treating people better than they're treated by anyone else. Connecting with people in a way that nobody else is actually connecting with them. Be present, listen to understand what a family needs. Now, what great opportunity is asking open-ended questions. Open-ended questions offers the opportunity for the person across the table to answer with something other than a yes or a no. Yes or no questions, guys, are what we call closed-end questions, and they're also manipulative. Because when I ask you a yes or no question, there's a good chance I'm trying to lead you somewhere, which means that I don't actually care about what you need. I care about what I need. So when I'm sitting with someone, I ask open-ended questions. They go, how, what, when, where, and why. So the 4 H's and the W, or the 4 W's and the H. There we go. That's what we do. We sit there and we ask questions. How long could you stay here? Where would you go? What would you do if you lost Richard? Questions like that allows for them to explain their story. And you sit and you listen. You sit and you listen. And then be prepared for your appointment. And also be prepared to not know everything. I think that's one of the greatest things that I've ever heard coming into this business, because my last job that I had, I was a master of it. And I enjoyed knowing everything about what I could do to help somebody. And then I come here and I don't know anything. So you can be prepared for your appointment by knowing how to underwrite, by knowing how to quote something, by knowing how to run a presentation. But you don't have to be prepared to know exactly what to do for that family in that moment. You have a team of people, which leads into number 8, work as a team. You have a team of people who have your back to make sure that you're doing the absolute best that you can for the person that you're in front of. How do you get in contact with that team? Give them a call, shoot them a 911 text. That's what we've trained our team to do. They're in an appointment, they don't know what to do. I get a text that looks like I'm the police, and I get a 911 text, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go ahead and help you help them do the best that you possibly can. That's a universal known thing in Symmetry, And if you didn't know that, start working as a team and see what you can get done. The first QR code here is also best practices for Zoom so that you can be prepared, but also be prepared to not know everything. So I hope you guys are finished with this page. We're almost done here, guys. As far as your first 90 days, y'all, protect your mindset. What am I doing right now? Am I picking up boulders? Am I slinging rocks? I'm sitting down on my rear end and talking. All I'm doing is talking. So the most laborious thing that we do is emotional. We have emotional labor. That's what we do. And it requires us to use a lot of this space between our ears. I think Barry says it's like 6 inches. It could be 8 inches. I should probably get a ruler one day and figure out how far that is. But take care of your mindset. It does say that the book of the month is the energy bus. That's because I haven't changed it yet from the last time that I did the new agent call. The book of the month is Secrets of the Millionaire Mindset by T. Harv Eker. Get that book. Read 10 pages. Follow what Mark was just talking about on the Huddle Up call today of the Quality 60. Rise to the challenge. Do it. The leadership's doing it. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to see who we all become through this process. Because what we're going to be doing is growing. We're going to be bigger. We're going to be better. That's the two things we're going to do. So take care of your most precious asset. Your ability to work is based on this right here. You could almost be blind and do your job. You could have no arms, no legs, and do your job at this point. You know what I mean? So your greatest asset, your ability to do your job, is right here. So prioritize conference calls over dials and running your appointments. I hope there was something that I shared with you all today that's going to allow for you to be bigger and better for your business, and that you didn't know or you didn't hear it the first time you heard it. So prioritize these kind of calls over running your appointments and dials, because there's something you're going to hear in a call that your upline is not going to be able to give you one day, just because of the fact that they didn't know you needed it. And all of a sudden they spit it out on a conference call and you're just sitting there in the car or you're sitting there at your home and you're like, oh my God, that makes total sense. And now I know what I need to be doing to improve my business. And because you prioritized it, now you can be more efficient in your dials and your appointments. Steer clear of energy vampires. I had to literally remove thousands of people off my Facebook. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. The people who hold the red flag or the blue flag. You got the people who point fingers but don't ever look in a mirror. Steer clear of them. Get rid of them. You don't need them. They only bring you down. Get around your Symmetry family. Get to know them. That's what I loved about conference. All of a sudden I'm getting Facebook requests. I'm like, yes, plug in. Can't wait to see you guys. So get around your Symmetry family, steer clear of energy vampires so you can be better. Enroll in the Thrive training on the SFG website. I don't know if you guys got anything that Brian Williamson was sharing. Oh my gosh, I love his leadership development course. Thrive is with Meredith Ellison and with Whitney Zay. Great couple of strong leadership women that provide you exactly what you need to be better and bigger for your family, for your business. It's all on the Symmetry website. Carve out you time. Put those days off in your calendar. Put them off. Or not put them off. Put the time in your calendar to take off. I just realized that I'm telling you to do something and I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, put it off. No. So take the time. That's what I love about Joe. Joe has the best Facebook page because he's with his kids, because he's with his family, and they're having a blast. Val Zarn literally sent me a picture I thought was a gift. No, it was him jumping on a motocross bike, or I don't think it was a motocross bike, a dirt bike. He's like jumping in the air. And I thought it was a gift. I was like, okay, so he's just taking a picture off the internet. No, he's living his life. He carves out his time. Make sure you devote time for your business and time for you. That's what I loved about conference. Good and well, we spent some good quality you time when we were there. We didn't just work. We had fun. We had a lot of fun. You got your SoundCloud trainings, and then the Success and Telesales training video. That was one of the QR codes that I had for you. Use that. Don't just rely on your upline and the conference calls to train you. Go to the SFG website, go to the training tab and learn, lean in and learn. I'm seeing that the chat bar is blowing up and I haven't looked at it yet. So I'm sorry if I'm missing anything here. I'm going to have Q&A at the end and I will look at this together. Your first 9 months are the hardest. They're the hardest. Remember, if you set the right expectation, you can't be fooled. You can't be let down if you knew it. So I'm going to tell you right now, your first 9 months are your hardest. And the reason why is because you're living on 75% of your income. Joe Martinez had an excellent year last year, and he opened a donut shop. Why did he have an excellent year? Because he got the remaining 25% of his income off of business he wrote the previous year. That guy was getting $6,000 passive checks from insurance carriers off of work he did the year before. The first year he made 240 grand just off his advance loan alone. That is insane in a good way, because it's doable for all of us. But then the next year he still made six figures just off of the passive side of what he had. So had he had quit his first 9 months, yeah, he would have made 240, but his back income, the back income is where it's at. So be sure to always have a full pipeline. That's what Joe always did. The dude wrote 60 apps a month, and it was insane. And so when you have 60 apps a month, you can't fail after your first 9 months, because you're getting paid your remaining 25% of your income on each and every one of those apps that are still in force. So have a full pipeline. Your bank account will feel when you take 2 weeks off in your first 9 months. Just being straight up with you guys, because you have no passive income coming in yet. So be committed, be consistent, and your income will be consistent. And after your first 9 months, you'll be able to sit back and reap the rewards of all of your hard work that you put in your first 9 months. Bulletproof your business, guys. This is my last section before Q&A. This is just extremely important, because when I started, I saw the benefit of this, but I didn't implement the right things I needed to do until 3.5 years later. And if I could save you all 3.5 years of frustration and the roller coaster of being commission only, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to save that for you all. Now, how do you bulletproof your business? You don't run your business alone. Don't do it, because it's going to feel just as pressure filled every single day. You wake up, it's on who? You. The next day, it's Groundhog Day. You wake up, it's on you. You put in an insane amount of work. January 1 comes around, and where are we all at? We're back at 0. And guess who has to do it all over again? You. So bulletproof your business. Don't let it just be you. We know that this business rocks. We know that this has changed lives, because it's changed my own. I am now surrounded with a group of people that I consider my family, and I got to pick them. I'm so excited. Now, do you want 100% of the pressure to be on you? And do you know somebody who hates what they do for a living right now? If you do, why don't you just share with them what we have here? So here's 2 questions I have for Project 100. What Project 100 is you sit down, you write an intentional list of 100 people that you're going to share the plan with. What does share the plan mean? You send 2 videos that you probably saw too when you were interviewed. You send those 2 videos to 2 people after asking one of these 2 questions. Directly hit them up with a, hey, are you in the job market? Hey, if you could make more money and it's with something that would fit in your schedule, would you be open for something like that? You ask that question. They say, it depends. What is it? Bam, you send 2 videos. And you schedule a time for a 3-way interview with your upline. Because you need that degree of separation, y'all. Don't put it 100% on you. Work as a team, like we just talked about. And you do that how many times? You do that 100 times. Project 100. The indirect approach is you reach out to someone and say, hey, do you know of anyone in the job market? Do you know of anybody who is coachable, teachable, and is a hard worker? Do you know somebody who fits that? Because I need to hire someone. We have too much work to do, not enough people to do it. Do you know of anybody like that? What do most people say? Well, I'm a hard worker. I'm teachable. I'm coachable. What is it? Boom, 2 videos, send it out 100 times. Last but not least, guys, I look at this as my future. I look at this as my retirement. My husband looks at it as a way of getting me out of the field and having passive income. I'm so grateful for it. Is the ultimate 401k is building a business, guys, having passive income. So we invest in what we want. We invest money into ZipRecruiter because we need to constantly be talking to people about symmetry. So we invest $1,000 a month. You do not have to start there. We didn't start there. We started at $300 a month and we got 10 job ads, right, Anjay? Anjay's doing it himself. He's taking those baby steps. You got to take steps. You got to take them. If you want to get anywhere different than where you are right now, you got to implement new steps. So you invest, you have people to talk to, you hire people. Then you start practicing leadership. Leadership doesn't come from just a group of people who show up and follow you. No, you find people and then you lead them. You find people and you lead them. You don't lead people and then they find you. No, you find people, then you lead them. So we invest in that, and we have ZipRecruiter. That is the best way to do it. It's what Symmetry says, and that's what I'm going to do. Someone else finds a better way, congratulations, but they've got too much money invested in it that I didn't have to invest. That's the best way to go. So fund your future. Think about it like this. You invest in leads to make your money right now. What about your family's money? What about your kids' school? What about their money, that generational wealth? Do you want to fund that? Do you want to fund your future time with those people? Because this money is just to work today. What about not having to work tomorrow? What about not having to work 10 years from now and retire? That's where we put our money. We went from putting all of our whatever these things are, chips, over here for the now money. And then we started taking some of them and putting them over here. And then this money generated more money for here. So then we started moving that around. And now we're investing a ton. And I'm so excited we're going to be upping that a ton for our future. So I encourage you all to do the same so that you can have your own business. Guys, don't be shy. Time for Q&A. I will open this chat section. I see I've got 7 messages in here and I have no idea what they say. All right. Great books, 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 books. Is there a link to find this list with these QR codes? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the QR codes so that you guys have an opportunity to take a picture again. But we're going to just do Q&A. Guys, this is an opportunity to unmute yourself. Here you go. There's your QR codes, y'all. Unmute yourself. Ask your questions. I'm here to help. That put us exactly right under, what is that? Right under 40 minutes, like I said. But we're going to open this up and have these doors open as long as we have questions.
Is there a corporate overview tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is one tomorrow, and it's going to be awesome. Filled with chock full of leaders. Awesome opportunity to plug your people into what a corporate overview is, y'all. If you've never seen one before, is the leaders coming together to share the Symmetry system and what it's done for them, so that you have an opportunity to recruit without having to do the hard labor. So basically, you talk to someone, they said, you know what, Anjay, this does sound good, but can I get some more information? Absolutely. There's actually a meeting tomorrow that you could watch from home from 7 to 7:45. You can watch from home, which will give you the information, probably answer all the questions that you have. And then we can talk the next day. And then you just send them the link for the corporate overview tomorrow, which we have not generated yet. That should be coming out today. And you share that link with them, and you'll be good to go. I love that. Thank you, Anjay. Guys, ask your questions. This is an awesome opportunity to just make sure that if you're frustrated, that we're addressing it and you're moving forward. That's conflict, obstacles the way, y'all.
Jordan, if I'm a new agent and I want to start recruiting, where do I get the video to send them?
You get the video from your upline, because your upline may have a specific video to their agency that is specific for recruiting within your group. So if you needed 2 videos right off the back, you're like, hey, listen, oh my God, I had no idea that I could recruit and hire people, which I'm surprised if you didn't know that. But if you learned that today by being on this call, get with the person who hired you and say, what videos do I need to share with people who I know hate what they do? And then they'll get it to you. You text that and send it out.
And then how good do I got to be before I hire somebody?
I hired my first person, which is Laura Davis, thank God. I hired her before I had a license. So you do not have to be good at this. And thank God I didn't have to be better at Laura to find the Laura Davis. That girl is way better than me. So don't be the master. Find them. Find greatness. I love Henry Ford. You know, there's an excellent section in a book that I read. I think it's Napoleon Hill's. Someone fill in the blanks for me, please. What's Napoleon Hill's book?
Grow
Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, that was killing me. Thank you, guys. And you and Jared just helped me out. Think and Grow Rich. He says that Henry Ford was sitting there and they were accusing him of not being this mastermind of all things. and he was sitting at his desk and they asked him a question about his business and all he did was press a button. All of a sudden, the master of that whatever they were asking got them that answer. You don't have to know everything. You just got to find those people who are going to rise to greatness. So that's the beauty of what we have here. Love it. Think and Grow Rich. I can't believe I couldn't think of that. I love this. I don't know who AG is. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. But it says, does the company provide the client or do we look for them? Ah, such a great question. Earlier, I was speaking about expectations. Let's see if I can go back to that page. Here we go. We were talking about resources. So with resources, y'all, how we look at this is Symmetry is a vehicle, right? Symmetry is a system that an agent can go get their license and use the system to run a very efficient, well-balanced business. So in any of the insurance industry, there's an 80-20 rule where you spend 80% of your time prospecting for clients, 20% of your time selling insurance. Can you, sorry. Jared's messing with a tortilla bag. And so Symmetry offers the opportunity to speak with a well-qualified client for just a small investment. And that's what I was talking about here with the $250 a week investment. I'm sorry, I think it's AG. I'm so sorry. Over here, you invest in your leads to speak with people consistently who are looking for insurance. And so we do have a lead system. No, it is not free because it is quality, and you can invest in that to speak with people all the time. Now, if you want to work your warm market, please help your warm market, because then there's no investment and you get paid the full commission. So that's awesome. Hope that answers your question there. It's a great question. Glad you're here.
Jordan, I have a question about something that was covered at the conference. I haven't spoken with Lauren about it yet,
Okay.
but they had talked about the Quality HQ, and that I guess everything is going to be going through that. I didn't know if we would still need to buy our leads through Opt, or if we would be buying leads through this Quality HQ.
Okay, so first off, Elizabeth, and I would tell anybody this, I'm not coming down on you. Let's switch your word buy to invest. It's the word of the year. But I love it. Great question. I have that weird knee-jerk reaction. And so no, so leads will still always be going through Opt until they replace Opt. The purpose for Quality HQ is to take people off of Opt who are using it for the different things that are not investing in leads and working leads, which is why Opt is so slow. Is because you've got people in there checking their business. You've got people in there who are, because as you move up and you develop a team, there's a section of Opt that will pop up called My Agency. And this My Agency tab shows all of the statistics of your team. And it takes a lot of space of Opt for those leaders who are doing that. Because there's right now, I think 216, 220 agency owners. So they're pulling all this stuff out of Opt that doesn't need to really be in there, and just putting it in Quality HQ so that we can use that for managing our business, where Opt is still just going to be used for leads. I hope that answers your question, my dear.
It did. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions, guys? These are great questions.
I have a question, please.
Oh, who said something? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Angie, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, the question is, do we have like an opportunity to watch the clients speak to maybe an agent?
Yes, ma'am. That's a great question. And it's Aji, is that what you said?
Yes.
Aji, I love that name. I love that. So I actually did this yesterday. So I hosted a Zoom session and I dialed, and you guys got to hear me speak with the client and book appointments. That's what I was actually pointing out over here as far as I said there was five tips, and the first one's not on here because I had thought of it, is plug in. Check, are you on GroupMe, Aji?
Yes.
Awesome. So keep an eye out for whenever we share Zoom links. They're not at specific times because, you know, we all own our business and we all work when we want to work. But the leaders are sharing these Zoom links of them working live. So these are great opportunities for you to hear both sides of the conversation. I hope that helped. I hope that helped. Yeah, it's gonna be a game changer for you, Audrey, to actually hear how people speak with the client. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for the question. It's a great one.
All right, thank you, Sue.
You're
One
very,
last question.
yes, of course.
So we that are the new agents, how do we get the client? You said you have a website to get the client, or is there a password we need to get to have the client?
I'm so sorry. I'm not able to, like, you're a little quiet and I'm not understanding the question. I'm very sorry.
Okay, you said you have a lead system of
Yes.
how we can get the client.
Yes.
So we that are the new agents, how do we get it, or do we have to go to the agent who recruit us to give us the lead?
Oh, that's a great question. So whose team are you on, Audrey?
Steve Divine?
Steve Odivo. I love that dude. I love him. Get with Steve. He'll show you how to get into, it's called Opt. That's what Elizabeth was asking about. You can go into Opt and purchase your leads in real time in there. As far as investing into your business, look at me, Elizabeth. I said something other than invest. See, I've got to watch me too. Go get with Steve today. He will show you how to invest in Opt to get your leads.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Great question. Happy to have you here, Audrey. Any other
Thank you,
questions, guys?
Not a question, but so much as a comment. I invest in the GMR.
Yes.
And I'm starting to get text messages when new leads come in.
Woo-hoo.
So it's definitely worth the investment.
How exciting is that? Andre just got his first internet lead ever, which means,
Well, I got another one today.
how amazing is that? That means they literally went online today and asked for insurance today. Let's go, Andre.
How did you sign up for that?
You go under the, so first off, get with Laura. She will show you how to do that. And see if this is a good time for you to do it. You know, Andre and I, we spoke first and we sat down and we powwowed and we said, okay, here's what you're telling me you need to make. Here's how comfortable I feel that you are with the system. You know, remember when they were talking about the 5 levels of proficiency of expert, 5 levels of expert with Brian Williamson? I love that. From being a beginner to being basic to being competent, proficient, and an expert. I probably just butchered that, but who cares? See, I feel like Andre got to a place where he knows how to do his job. So him investing in these leads, these brand new leads, he's ready. He can help someone if he got to speak with someone. So we got there first, we had that conversation, and then he signed up for it on the Symmetry website. Your agency owner has to sign off on that, which is me. But I do want you speaking with Laura first before you do something like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Questions, guys? Let's get them out. I'm assuming if you have no questions, you're happy with the result. Yes, who is that again? I'm sorry, is this Aji?
Yes.
Hi.
Do we buy the books online?
Do we buy the book online, book of the month?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
get that on Amazon.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Secrets of the Millionaire Mindset from T. Harv Eker.
Also, if you Google that book, you'll be able to download it for free and read on your computer, your laptop, your iPad, whatever device you have.
I love that.
I
Andre,
just did that.
yeah, you're more tech savvy than me. I'm a caveman. I'm pen and paper and a hard copy book is what I am. So I love that. Love having the diversity.
Also, another comment is the SFG website, the SFG Life, is a real good tool for resources. You can find all the stuff Jordan was talking about on that website. Just need to play around.
Love it. Love it. Questions, guys? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. If there's a moment in your business that you feel frustrated with and you're not getting results or not getting the results that you want, ask me about it. We're here for it. We've got 9 more minutes of this being open before I'm gonna let you guys out on the wild today. You're a bunch of cheetahs. Joe's a cheetah, for sure. Jared,
Trying to
you
get to
walking?
that Quility HQ thing that they talked about at the conference. There was an email that was sent out about how to link into that.
I don't think it's
Is
out.
that how everybody's been linking?
I don't think it's out 100% yet. I could be wrong, but when it does come out, it will be in an email.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you. It was so good seeing you, Tony, this week. It was awesome.
I got a real simple question.
I hope so.
How do I get your job?
How do you get my job? What do you think well, let me ask you a follow-up question. What do you think my job is?
Agency owner?
Oh, how do you
Well,
get here? You
that's
recruit,
your-
baby?
That's your title. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta recruit. You gotta
Yeah.
recruit, you gotta recruit, you gotta recruit, and you gotta be willing to suck at something long enough until you get good at it.
What I missed.
I don't know.
Uh,
Jared wanted to step in and answer your question, Mike, and he couldn't even remember what he was gonna say.
Now, I know you have Jared, you know, you have a wonderful significant other,
Yeah, thank God.
but if you're doing this by yourself, how do you balance pre-screens, interviews, dialing, book of the month, and everything else?
Yeah, so as far as book of the month goes, I'll start with there because you may be looking at Quality 60 and being like, you want me to add what to my calendar? Like you want me 45 minutes of exercise? I don't have time for that. You may be saying something like that. If you're not, then probably need to add 45 minutes of exercise to your schedule. But either way, we're going to do it. We're going to add this to your calendar. Where do we add it? Very beginning of your day before anybody needs you. Get up. Use the morning. The morning's the most wonderful time of the day. It's a constant reminder that every day you have a new chance of making something better happen for yourself. So use the first 90 minutes of your day long before anybody needs you. Decide on that. The next thing I would tell you, I love that, Anjay, it's a great question, is make a schedule and stick with it. Make a schedule and stick with it. Put it on a piece of paper, put it on a calendar, put it on a dry erase board. I don't care how you want to keep your schedule, but make it and stick with it. And guess what? You're going to run through it and be like, wow, that was extremely difficult. And that's not going to be working long-term for me. Change it. Make it work long-term for you. Find a way to manipulate your calendar that it'll work for you. Because what works for me, just like Anjay said, what works for me and Jared is not always going to work for you. What works for you is definitely not going to work for me. And do you know how long it took us to figure out what works for us? 3.5 years. 3.5 years of us busting our head against the wall and saying, oh my gosh, what works for me? For you guys, it doesn't have to take 3.5 years because you need to develop a great relationship with the person who hired you here, and they will walk you through with your schedule, with your things that your obligations, thank God I thought of the word, with your obligations that you have, they will work with you to make a schedule that they feel would be most proficient for you to get what you want out of it. And then implement it and then give them feedback. Say, hey, I tried doing it that way. Running 10 appointments in one day was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I don't think I can do that long-term. Can we work something else out? Yes. Then we just manipulate the calendar a little bit and then we get it done. When we started, what worked well for me when I was working alone was taking 2-3 days in the field, 2.5 days, 2 days of just straight recruiting. And that's how I would do it. I would do the first couple of days of the week running in the field, and that's all I would focus on. And then the last couple of days in the field, I would be straight recruiting. Try that. If it doesn't work for you, good news is there's always another way.
Cool. A follow-up question to that. Some of us aren't morning people.
Too bad. Become a morning person.
What time do you normally, you and Jared, go to bed and wake up?
Oh, this is a personal question. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
like
I'm kidding.
I go up to bed around 10, 11 o'clock at night.
And then you get up at when?
Struggle waking up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's when I wake up in the morning. Does it suck for the first 3 weeks of doing it? Absolutely. What happens after that? You can't help but wake up at 6 o'clock. You can't help it. Your body's just like, up at that time. And a good way to start making yourself a morning person, put your alarm clock in a different room, put it in the bathroom. Because when it goes off and you can't just reach over and hit snooze, that sucks. But at the same time, you're going to get yourself out of bed. You're going to do the thing that you need to do. Don't, what I hear, Anjay, if you're not a morning person, that means it's something uncomfortable for you. Lean into it. Lean into it. Go do it. Get it done. Because just like Mark was saying this morning about starting a new diet and going against the grain of the old diet, is you're going to realize that there's a part of your brain that is structured specifically around habits. And when you break those habits, it hurts. It's annoying. And it's apparent when you walk towards the chips and you go, wait a minute, no, like no to these chips. You know what I mean? Like that's the same thing that you break. You break that habit when you set an alarm clock and you get up in the morning. You decide that you're worth getting up that early and spending quality time with on reading a book or 45 minutes on an exercise bike, because that's what I have. You can keep sitting and just move your legs. Yeah, Joe's a walker. I'm a pedaler is what I am. That's how I get myself in. Hope that offers some good feedback for you all so you can implement changes that you need in your life. The things that you need to work on yourself, get them done before anybody else needs you. Put your phone away. Don't look at it. 90 minutes. Don't look at your phone the first 90 minutes of your day. Watch what happens. I love it, guys. Fired up. 3 minutes. Questions? Let's do
I got
it.
a question.
Is it another simple one?
Very simple. I'm waiting for Jared's answer. Hey, tell him to send me an email.
Oh, what he was just saying how to get where we are is just being open to the fact that you don't know everything.
Yeah. Well, Lord God, I have gone through so much. It's been almost 2 years. I have gone through so much in the last 2 years, and I'm no spring chicken, guys. Okay. Is it possible to change? That's a question. But that's an open question. The answer to that question is anybody can change, and how I'm doing it, I know that it's worth it.
That's right.
I know what the goal is. I know what I want to do, where I want to be. And is it worth it? Well, try it out.
I love that. I love that.
I changed how I eat 15 years ago, not because I wanted to, but because out of necessity. I wanted to save my life, literally. That I did it. Is it easy now? I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it.
That's right. Yeah, that's just
Was it tough?
Sorry,
Was
go
it tough? But I was motivated. So what's it? Like, another question is, what does it take to motivate me? What does it take to motivate Jordan? What does it take to motivate Jared? It's all different. If this business motivates us and motivates us to become a success, whatever success means to us, it's all worth it. Conference blew my mind, kids.
It was awesome, wasn't it? It was awesome.
Oh,
Life-changing.
I was so hungry for that. I've never been so hungry for anything in my life. I lost sleep before. I've lost sleep afterwards. My wife is so jealous. She's like, oh my gosh.
Who is this man that she married? You know what I mean? No, I love that.
She wanted to be there. She wanted to be there. And she doesn't want to do things like that normally. But she listens to the huddles every morning. She's here at the huddles every morning.
I love that.
Huh?
I love that.
This is a life-changing business, you know. It's not just selling insurance. My gosh, it's so, you know.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna end us. It's 12 o'clock. Here's what I want to leave you guys with: is this information is absolutely freaking pointless if you don't use it. It's absolutely pointless. Use it today. Prove it wrong. Do something today for your business that we just covered and use it for your first 90 days or the next 90 days and see what happens. See what happens when you start counseling with your upline. See what happens when you start working at 8 to 10 sits or 15 plus sits if you're full-time. See what happens when you plug in to the conference calls, when you read the book of the month. See what happens when you start sharing the plan and hiring people. watch what happens for your business, and then just do it for 90 days straight. With that, I'll let you guys go so that you can get it done. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you all today, and let's build a business. Let's level up, baby.
Love y'all. Bye.